Here we're seeing it's the Sri Lankan cricket side that has been specifically targeted and is taken place in an urban centre. So parallels will be drawn to 26/11, but the only difference being that here you've got the Sri Lankan cricket side that has been specifically targeted.
And it's a pity, it's really a shame that sportspersons who have nothing to do with politics, who have nothing to do with terror, who have nothing to do with governments, they're just here in the business of sport. They're here to entertain people. That's their job, and that's what they do around the world. They're being targeted simply because they're soft targets, simply because they offer mileage for these people, these terrorists who believe in a perverted worldview, who believe in a convoluted agenda, who just want to take forward this garbled philosophy of theirs, and they're targeting cricketers who have nothing to do with all of this simply because they're sitting ducks, they're soft targets. It's a pity that Sri Lankan cricketers, they're the most enjoyable lot of all. They love their cricket, they love their music, they're great people to know and get to be friends with. It's a pity that people like Sangakkara and people like Samaravira have been targeted in this attack by those really, I mean, you can't even put into words how condemnable this attack is.
In fact, just a short while ago, we had spoken to Parvez Maroof. He's, of course, a teammate and has played a lot of cricket with the likes of Kumar Sangakkara and Samaravira and the other Sri Lankan players. He didn't go to Pakistan for this tour. He's back home in Sri Lanka. And he was telling us that he's spoken to a lot of the players who haven't been injured in this attack, who are currently at the dressing room of the Gaddafi Stadium. And he said that he's spoken to them, and there's completely utter shock and disbelief inside that dressing room right now. We'd also spoken to Brendan. He's one of the assistant coaches, and he was echoing similar sentiments.
Well, clearly the cricketing ramifications are going to be huge. The diplomatic ramifications of all of this is going to be really huge. You can expect a strongly worded statement from the new Obama administration in the United States. You're going to have world leaders from the UK to France to the European Union, all around the world, condemning this attack. And I think this is a wake-up call for the international community. It's time they stood up and took note of the fact that Pakistan is clearly a problem area. It's one of the most dangerous places in the world, and it's in the interest of the world to try and curb this menace of terrorism within Pakistan. It's not just a question of the Pakistani people and the Pakistani governments. It's an international problem, and it needs to be solved for the sake of the world and for the sake of the free world as soon as possible.
All right, what we're going to do now is we're actually going to get you an eyewitness account, and this from the driver of the bus who was carrying the Lankan team. He's going to give us a detailed account of the attack and how it took place, and he's also going to narrate to us how the rest of the side managed to escape the attack.
हम तकरीबन सुबह 8:15 बजे पीसी से मूव हुए हैं, तो जैसे ही हम ये गुलबर्ग मेन बुलेवार्ड में पहुंचे हैं, तो राउंड अबाउट में स्पीड गाड़ी की स्लो होती है, तो उधर उन्होंने दहशतगर्दों ने पहले ही टारगेट बनाया हुआ था। उन्होंने गाड़ी के चारों तरफ से ना गाड़ी पर हमला कर दिया। हमारे आगे एसपी साहब होते हैं, उसके पीछे 2 एलर्ट फोर्स की गाड़ियां होती हैं, उन पर उन्होंने सबसे पहले अटैक किया है। उसके बाद उन्होंने ड्राइवर बस के ऊपर जो अटैक किया है, आप देख रहे हैं सामने फ्रंट पे फायर लगे हुए हैं, तो लेकिन अल्लाह का शुक्र है मैं बच गया हूँ। तो जैसे ही वो एलर्ट फोर्स के ऊपर उन्होंने हमला किया, एक गाड़ी लेफ्ट हो गई, एक राइट हो गई है, मुझे मौका मिला, मैंने उधर से गाड़ी जो है ना भगा के सीधा गद्दाफी स्टेडियम के अंदर पहुंचा दी है। वहाँ आके देखा है तो तकरीबन एक प्लेयर को फायर लगा था टांग में, उसको फिर निकाला है, तो उसको एम्बुलेंस में डाल के तो हॉस्पिटल ले गए। उसके बाद की सूरत हाल का कोई लोग।
Well, the driver of the bus there giving a blow-by-blow account. A word about the driver really, Gaurav, because it was his presence of mind, his alertness, that he immediately swerved. The moment he realized this was a terrorist attack, he swerved the bus into the Gaddafi Stadium. If he hadn't done that, we probably would have seen many more losses. But let's go straight across to Vikrant Gupta, Chief Cricket Correspondent, who's in Napier. Vikrant, we're getting in word, and we saw pictures a short while ago of the Indian and Kiwi teams coming out sporting black armbands. It's a good thing to see cricketing solidarity by both the teams with the Sri Lankan team that's been attacked this morning.
Pakistan.
Well, Zaka, that's the least that they can do. But as I said, you know, the teams are shocked. They're shocked because till now, except for the Munich Olympics in '72, there have not been too many attacks on sports persons. And something like this to happen in Pakistan, in Lahore, was something you know, nobody had ever given a thought to. First, the Marriott attack in Islamabad. Now this attack, and as I said, I think cricket in Pakistan will be beyond any realistic hopes now.
Right, Vikrant, we're seeing the solidarity of the players at least out there sporting black armbands. But tell us about the solidarity of Asian cricket, particularly in the subcontinent. In the past, we've seen whenever teams like Australia, West Indies have refused to tour a subcontinent country, there's been solidarity from the Asian pack at least. But what is that likely to continue now, given the fact that it's the Sri Lankan team that's been attacked in Pakistan?
And when they do express their solidarity, Gaurav, we shouldn't forget that. As I said, India has diplomatic problems with Pakistan, so there's very little chance of India touring Pakistan in the near future to play cricket. After what happened to the Sri Lankan players now, I don't expect Sri Lanka to send their players there. So that leaves you with Bangladesh. And after this attack, I doubt if the Bangladeshi cricket board would be naive to send their players there. I think the Pakistan cricket board is aware of the problems. They would now themselves be sure that they would not take any risks. As I said,
right.
Pakistan would play international cricket, but they'll have to look for an alternative venue. Maybe, which means that cricket in Pakistan will suffer because they might host a few countries in a neutral venue. But for cricket to prosper, you need matches to be played in your own country, and that is not going to happen in the near future.
Right, Vikrant. In fact, Javed Mirdad, former Pakistani captain and coach, was saying that this could, in fact, signal the end of international cricket in Pakistan altogether.
There's a very strong possibility of that happening, Gaurav.
Vikrant, just give me a minute because we're getting in live feed from Colombo. The Prime Minister of Sri Lanka, Ratnasri Wickrematunge, is addressing the press through the national broadcast medium Rupavahini. We'll try and get that feed in just a moment. Ratnasri Wickrematunge is the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka. We'll try and get that live feed in just a moment. But it's clearly shock and awe. Thanks very much, sir, for speaking with us on Headlines today. Your first reactions to the dastardly attack that's happened in Lahore.